Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning. 2 minutes to change our lives. Continuing on in VeAta Tetzaveh after Ois base. So essentially, in Ois Aleph, we started to ask a few questions on the pasuk VeAta Tetzaveh. It said, pasuk says VeAta Tetzaveh. So the usual commands. The first question was, why are we seeing that Moshe's command should be Hashem command? It's Hashem command, and like it says normally, Tzav is me. So VeAta Tetzaveh implies that it's Moshe's command. Second of all, that should bring to you, which is saying that the oil should be brought to Moshe. Now, Aaron was one who lights the menorah. So why is the oil being brought to Moshe? That's the second question. And it's not just like the language is different, but it's that idea. That's VeAta Tetzaveh. Shemen Zayis Zach Chassid Lamor. And why do we say Chassid is crushed? Lamor to the luminary, crushed to the light. You want to light it with it. So why the luminary? And all this we're going to discuss, of course. And then we said, Lala is near Talmud. It should be consistent. But in the next pasuk it says, Me'er Vad Baker. Is it always Talmud or is Me'er Vad Baker? What's going on over here? That's essentially the questions we have. And with these questions are going to lead us into the topic of discussion about the Rebbe and the Chassid relationship and the Chassid relationship with the world and Mashiach. Let's see. Ois base. And it's explained in the Fidikov's famous maamer. Which is the maamer that was said on Purim Katan in the year 1927, which, as we explained before, that this maamer was said on this Purim, that the Frierdiker Rebbe basically knew who he was dealing with. That in that Faragan, he made a big Faragan, first of all. And this is already when communism was as it's nice and strong. And now we're against our mitzvahs. And so during the Faragan, he was very strong with his wording that we shouldn't give us and our kids to public school, and we shouldn't, lose our Torah values and Torah education. And he said, and I know that the people here that are informers, I don't care, and the Chassidim were very nervous about this whole thing. That's what he did. So he said this maamer over there. So it's known that in that maamer, what did he say? He says the VeAta Tetzaveh. When we say that you should command, Tava comes who Tavsav v'chibur. It's a language of connection. That's not just that we should that Hashem is telling Moshe that he should command the Jewish people, but he's saying that Moshe should connect the Jewish people. VeAta Tetzaveh means all this means you should command the Jewish people. It means Moshe Makasha, not that you should command, but you should connect. Moshe who Makasha Machabes Meisal Imer and Seif. Moshe is connecting the Jewish people with Hashem's infinite light. That essentially what we're saying is in simple English that Hashem is telling Moshe that you should connect the Jewish people with me. And through Moshe connecting us with Hashem, with their Insaif. So we're saying something very wild over here. That it's not just that Moshe helps us connect to Hashem, but it's through us taking that and connecting, we actually add to Moshe himself. Now, there's a bracket. We're going to skip the bracket and we'll come back to it. VeAta Tetzaveh is Meisal, and this makes the Eis very short. And this is what it means that you should command the Jewish people, you should connect the Jewish people. And they should bring to you. Now we're explaining two answers. Why I say the usual command, because it's not that you should command, but you should connect. You should help the Yidden connect. You should connect. And then also, why is it why should bring to you? Because through Moshe connecting the Jewish people with God's infinite light, they bring to you, we will bring this oil, pure oil to Moshe. That's why he says that you should bring to you. Which it means will add additional light in Moshe. So adding to Moshe. That's what we're saying. So essentially what we're saying is we're answering two of the questions, 2 out of the 5. And why does it say the usual command? Because it's not about commanding, it's about connecting. That Hashem said to Moshe that you should connect the Jewish people with Aaron safe. And then through that, and they'll bring to you the oil, meaning they'll add something in us. So Moshe helps us connect to Hashem, and we help Moshe connect. So let's see in the brackets now. The Moshe the Moshe and the Jewish people are like the feet and the head. Moshe, like it says, 600,000 feet of the person of the nation. That I am among the Chal Yisrael Haim Haraglayim the Moshe. All the Jewish people are like the feet of Moshe. Moshe who are Him, and Moshe is like the head. We are like the feet, and Moshe is like the head. Now, as we all know, the head by itself can't do anything, and the feet by itself can take the head where it can't go by itself. But on the other hand, the feet can walk around, but if there's no head, it doesn't do anything. So, just like a person, just like by a person, if you take the head where by itself the head can't reach, so too is with Moshe and the Jewish people. To us, being the feet of Moshe and being able to walk him, we add something special to Moshe. Moshe is advanced to a higher light. Because without us, it's like a person not a feet. We are like the feet of Moshe. So why not feet? It's just the feet. But without the feet, it makes it, having feet is one of these blessings that we have. So that's the Moshe. And through Moshe helping us connect, we actually add to Moshe something. This is like what it says. Sheish Ma'is Elf Ragli Ha'am Asher Anechi B'Kibur, 600,000 feet of the nation. And I'm among. We say the word Anechi B'Kibur. I'm among. What does it mean? Shaidei Ragli Ha'am, through the feet of the people. Nimshach Hagilui D'Anechi. We draw down this revelation of this level of Anechi, which is a level of I, which is a very high level of Hashem. Into Moshe. Now, without us, Moshe doesn't have the ability to have that connection with Anechi. That's what we're saying in the brackets. Yeah, so what we're saying is that and we're learning here is that VeAta Tetzaveh, that Moshe should connect with people with their own safe. And through that, we add to Moshe, and that's why it says in the end of the pasuk, bring to you, because we're adding to Moshe. Like, for example, the head and the feet, that the feet take the head, that by itself the head can't go. And like we said, that 600,000 feet that I'm among, that the Anechi, the level of a high level of godliness. And that's what we're saying. So we sort of answered 2 questions, but we've opened up a new idea, which is a connection between us and Moshe, the Rebbe and the Chassid. The Moshe of every generation, as we're going to talk about a little later, and the people of that time period. So too with us and as we could say, so too with us and the Rebbe. The Rebbe's job is to connect us with Hashem. And we have to realize that through us fulfilling that connection and building on that, we add to the Rebbe something that by himself he can't do. Let's see. Gimmel. Let's explain this idea. The maamer. So the Friedrich Rebbe explains in his maamer. The Moshe is called the faithful shepherd. We're going to explain this two explanations. There's 2. One is the shepherd of faith. One is the faithful shepherd, and you're going to discuss this. There's 2 explanations in this. One is Shehu Roy and Ne'eman She'Yisrael. He's the faithful shepherd of the Jewish people, and he takes care of what we need. And the second one is Shehu Zanu Afanas Yisrael Ben Yinamon, that he feeds us, sustains us with the munah. One of them that he shows us the munah, so to speak, that he takes care of us. One of them he gives us the munah. The munah, the faith that we have in Hashem. We all have faith. Why? Because, like it says, we are believers, sons of believers. So we naturally have faith in Hashem. So if we already have faith in Hashem, so what is this idea that Moshe he's the faithful shepherd, that he feeds the same Jewish people with emunah? We already have emunah. What's the problem with that emunah? If we pay attention to ourselves, we'll all know that the emunah has a big lacking. What is it? Our munah could be makif. Makif means It doesn't actually penetrate us, which means we all believe it's like the famous story it's brought down, I think, in the Gemara. I think it's actually not real a source for it. I can't find it. It says in Masaf the Brachis in Yaakov. But basically, that before a Ganav, it says before a Ganav is about to break in to, like, he's digging on the ground to break into like the bank, and before he's about to get in, he says a little prayer. Now, what are you davening? Who are you davening to? Hashem. If you believe in Hashem, then why are you stealing? It's because he has a munah. That's why he's davening. But his munah is a makif. He doesn't actually internalize him. Because if it was bepnimius, then he wouldn't steal. And so it's with us. We all have a munah. We believe in Hashem, and we believe in Sidus and Rebbe. But if we look at our lives, we're not always living up to that. And why not? It's because that munah that we have in all these things is not bepnimius. Bepnimius means that it's internalized. It's transformative. It affects you. You feel it in the kishkins. And the problem is, our munah can be very, very external. It's like, Lamashal, one time I was on Miftzayim, Chanukah time, the whole long story, and basically, we were on the street corner somewhere, and getting people to take nerves, light nerves. And it was a Thursday night, and it was a little rowdy. And a few guys, like from the Navy or something, they came, making trouble. They weren't being like dangerous or anything, just being rowdy. And it was getting a little uncomfortable. And this guy jumps out of nowhere, and he was like, "Leave these guys alone. They're Jewish. I'm Jewish. Don't do that. Stay away from them." And I was like, "Well, you're Jewish. Come, let's light the menorah." He's like, "What is that?" And and so he has a munah. He believes is a yid, but the munah is very makish. He hasn't actually expressed itself in anything. He hasn't he hasn't figured out how to bring it out. And that's so too with our munah. I believe, but then one second, but then how come I do this avera, or I do this thing, or I don't wake up on time, I don't daven every day, or I don't know say brachos, or I forget to say krishma, or whatever it is that we do. Well, or choose a different example, whatever, say lashon hara, or I think badly about other people, about myself. All these issues, it's because that emunah is not, it's not b'pnimis, it's the mak. So that this is the VeAta of Moshe. This is what the Rebbe's job is. That emunah should be internalized. It's like the story of the Yasser Jacobson after Shalom Mordechai Bashin came out of the prison, and there's all this hype about emunah b'tachei, bring the gula, and this guy told Yasser Jacobson, he said, "Come on, between me and you, what's the story over here? How did this guy do this?" Like yeah, whatever. I've heard all the stories, but really, how do you do it? So he said to him, Yasser Jacobson said to him like this: "You don't get it because you never saw the Rebbe. When you saw the Rebbe, it's real." What do you mean? I spoke to Shalom Mordechai. We had that Shabbat I speak to him, and I spoke to him about this idea. And he said, yeah, it's exactly it. What the Rebbe does is he takes Torah, and Torah becomes real. And emunah is not a word in a book, but emunah is deep within me. And this is what we're saying. What Moshe's job is to take Yiddishkeit and make it real. Hashem is real. Emunah is real. Not just we have emunah, because every Jew has emunah. But the emunah should be a pnimius, should affect us. I should believe so I'm not stressed, I'm calm, and every opportunity I have to do a Torah, to do another mitzvah, to learn Torah, and to listen to VeAta Tetzaveh, and then after the kiss, I'm there, I'm listening. And that's what Moshe's job is, that's what he's able to do. Yeah, and this is what it says in the Zayar. This is the munah from above, the supernal munah. Yes, is on these spineless minei, Moshe should feed and sustain and nurtured through Moshe. The Zesha Moshe is on the munah. This Moshe feeds and sustains the munah. That he brings it out of pnimius. It should be internalized. We'll continue we'll go into the next point a little bit. So what we're saying here is, what we're adding here is in Ois base is that why does it say VeAta Tetzaveh that you should command? Because we're not talking about commanding, we're talking about connecting. That Hashem is saying to Moshe that you should connect the Jewish people with Eretz Safe with me, and ultimately we're saying from that connection, it also helps Moshe. Now to understand this, we have to understand that really this maamer was sourcing it off the Frierdiker Rebbe's maamer in Kibbutz Yehudim. And he says over there that Moshe is the Raya Mehemna, Moshe is the faithful shepherd, that he feeds the things that he eaten with emunah. We said, what does that mean? We all have emunah. The emunah is not necessarily b'pnimius. Moshe's job and the Rebbe's job is to make that emunah b'pnimius. And to internalize it, that actually affects us. To be continued tomorrow.